WQAD News 8, this is WQAD This Week.
Good morning. It's Sunday, April 30th. Thank you for joining us for News 8 This Week. I'm Jon Diaz. This morning, our program will focus on the city of Clinton. This year, we have brought you a number of stories about development there, as well as some challenges. We will share some of those reports with you again today. We'll also hear from city and business leaders to get their take. We start with a 10-year, $15 million residential and commercial project that came to life in Clinton. As News 8's Joe McCoy showed us in March, the city and Clinton businesses are energized over the potential impact the development will bring.
Today marks an era of new memories.
10 years in the making.
Sizes range from 483 square feet to 1,224.
I'm excited to see moving trucks. I'm excited to see new businesses built out of the downtown, or the first floor here, and then all the other businesses that are going to expand through here.
Clinton, Iowa, giving a major facelift to its Wilson building located on South 5th Street.
The inside may be redeveloped, but the nostalgia is still there as well when you walk around and you see and you go through the hallways.
New homes bring new opportunities.
We believe it's a catalyst for reinvestment in downtown Clinton. We're already seeing significant improvements already being made, such as the new businesses right across the street.
Downtown businesses looking forward to the potential uptick in customers.
We're pretty excited about it.
Lisa Omoyefa is a salesperson at a local appliance store.
We provided a lot of their appliances, or most of the appliances, and just a lot of washing machines, dishwashers, refrigerators, so on and so forth. We're always trying to push that for downtown activities, and getting more people down here is a really big thing because it just helps with businesses for everybody.
The project includes 2 commercial incubators. The goal of these to allow startup businesses the opportunity to establish themselves and ultimately grow into their own storefront.
Makers on 5th. Retail business incubator designed for startup and entrepreneurs, along with ongoing financial support through Bridge Investments, as well as Clinton Culinary Kitchen Incubator, providing opportunities for startups as well.
An exciting time for a small Iowa town.
Joining us now is Matt Brooks, the city administrator for the city of Clinton. Matt, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us this week.
John, thanks for having me.
All right, I want to start with housing. We just watched a story on the Wilson Lofts. Obviously, that's not the only housing that is going on. Can you give me the context here a little bit of what are some of the projects that have been and are in the works, and what does that mean in a city the size of Clinton?
Most certainly. Well, as you know, it all starts with where our home life is. And you need to have somewhere where it can be safe and secure that you live, no matter what you're doing in life, no matter what phase. The Wilson building is just one of those things, is really an example of patience. If it wasn't for economic growth, of course, sticking with the city for close to 10 years, but bringing that through, and what we had talked about before is, cities across the country have to relook how they consider their downtown, right? We have Amazon, we have shopping online, we have deliveries coming to our house. How do you bring back that fold of getting our kids to be able to go to a downtown, spend some time there with their families and spend a whole day? Well, we think it starts and finishes with good housing in the downtown. That Wilson building really is going to be, I wouldn't even call it a cornerstone, but an anchor to then bring more folks that will live there. And then we've already started seeing other businesses fill up because they're going to then be able to take care of the folks that are there, that are living there. But we've really noticed through doing a 2023 housing study that we're inadequately not meeting the needs of our people that want to live here. We continue to grow jobs. We continue to not have available places to live. When folks go to the market to look at a home, it's there and gone. We're missing some price ranges of the homes, but these units, whether they're apartments, whether they're condos, whether they're new houses, all is required. So it's every little bit helps as we kind of move this forward, because as we're growing this job base, we want them to be here as well. We do have about 9,000 people that drive to Clinton every day to work at a job. And I've tasked our staff, hey, let's capture about 1,000 of them and make Clinton be their home, as well as, not only working here, but living here and then, raising your family here.
Let's talk about businesses because, we've seen in communities declines when those businesses, especially the big businesses that employ a lot of people, go away. What are you guys doing to not only retain those businesses in town, but attract new ones?
Most definitely. one of the biggest things that I always tell the staff and the folks who work with, it all begins with open communication, being transparent, and basically partnership. So the city of Clinton is really blessed to partner with Grow Clinton. Andy and his team, we work very closely together, but really the thanks has to go to these current businesses. They went through COVID, they went through all those other issues, and they continue to put capital investment into their businesses here in Clinton. And that's, I hate to name them because I'll forget some, but ADM, Nestle, LyondellBasell, all those are continuing to reinvest in the community. And that is so important because that keeps folks here, that keeps those jobs here. And then what is very interesting is, as we've been spinning this wheel of improving the economic development, improving all the small things within the city, whether it be from sewer, from roads to infrastructure, then all of a sudden, when folks show up, they're interested in bringing their new business. And just recently, IEDA, Iowa Economic Development Authority, announced that $223 million project, Atlas Roofing Corporation, coming to Clinton, starting with about 117 jobs, growing to 200. And they just saw what was going on in Clinton and said, this is a right fit for us. And
As you talk about this, you're saying things that sound like they make a lot of sense. And what do you see that you're doing, the city is doing, that maybe other communities are not doing, that sort of everyone can maybe learn from?
certainly. Well, I grew up in Western Iowa in a town about 500. We didn't even have a stoplight, right? And so, but everybody came together to help everybody. And I think as the world with social media and everything goes, people can be really shut off. And the more that we can open that spigot and share and care for each other, because really at the end of the day, and this is no BS, we got to care for everybody. We just can't care for ourselves. We just can't care for the left and right. We need to care for everybody. And I really feel the sense of community, because when something needs to be done and you need volunteers, there's people that are just lined up at the door, to be able to help out, whether it's, providing school supplies for kids before they go back to school, whether it's, setting up, the night out with the police officers and the fire department, or whether it's somebody that needs some help, they're here to do it. I really think that sense of community has really helped with Clinton. Now, you're not going to make everybody happy. I understand, because some people will just be, we call them poopy. I say that to my grandkids, might be a little poopy. But at the end of the day, if we just step back and think of it bigger than us, this is something that we're trying to create and we're leaving for our future generations.
Let's look into your crystal ball here, and I think you probably alluded to some of it already, but not quite future generations, but maybe 5-10 years from now, what does Clinton look like? Similar or significantly different than what it looks like now?
Yeah, I think similar, but yet some growth in some areas of, first off, fine tuning our housing. I think the downtown is even growing, just a plug, but we just I don't know if we can use dates, but coming up here soon, the Great Revivalist Brewery will open up, and then it's an 1898 church, right? Those things are so valuable as a destination piece, but then not only just the destination, but maybe you come and then you go and see Keep Sewing, or you go to the riverfront and you go use the marina and you go to a ball game. All that stuff is what we're trying to bring back, because what the 5 to 10 years is continue to grow and have strong job market for our folks to be here, continue to improve our infrastructure. We're doing a riverfront study right now, which is critical, right? Because the city of Clinton owns the majority of the riverfront down where downtown is. But what else should we be doing? We've put in pickleball courts. We're updating our skateboard. We have a 50-meter pool. We have a wonderful baseball stadium built back in the 1930s. The marina. Well, what else could we do? And I think that one else is you're going to see in those 5 to 10 years, new apartments and condos that look at the river.
All right, Matt Brooke with the City of Clinton. Thanks so much for taking the time this week.
Thank you, John.